I'm Carrie Parmenter, and I work for the Posey County Soil and Water Conservation District. At the district, what we do is we work with farmers, we work with homeowners, construction workers, and we help them with issues with their soil, whether it's erosion or flooding, or in this case, we're going to be doing soil sampling. And the reason why we sample the soil is so that we can look and see what kind of nutrients are in the soil. Because just like you and I, we need our nutrients and our minerals to be healthy. Well, plants need minerals and nutrients to be healthy also. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use our soil sampling tool to take a sample of the soil, and then we will send that off to a lab, and they will be testing it for different nutrients. Notice that Mrs. Lashley has a strawberry patch here, and it's in a raised bed. You can tell that the soil that's in the raised bed is a very different color than the soil in her vegetable garden. So this soil is purchased potting soil, and it's very high in organic matter, and there's usually, you can see some little white specks in there that are some fertilizer that's already in there, and it's just a very different texture than what we have here in Posey County. So our native Posey County soils are going to be a lot more brown instead of black, and they're going to stick together a lot more than what potting soil does. So different types of soil have different characteristics, different colors, different amounts of sand, silt, and clay in them. So even if you add fertilizer to this soil, to the native soil, it's probably not going to turn out looking exactly like potting soil does. So just because the soils look different, it doesn't make any of them worse than the others. It just makes them different types of soil. So whenever you add organic matter and you add nutrients to our native Posey County soils, you can still make them very fertile and able to grow vegetables. So don't feel like you have to have soil looking exactly like potting soil to have healthy soils for your garden. So we're going to be sampling at Mrs. Lashley's home. She had contacted our office because she is a 7th grade teacher who is wanting to teach her 7th graders about soil sampling and about what you sample for and why and what we're going to need to do to amend her soil. So we're going to be taking samples on her vegetable garden area. And the way that you determine where you're going to sample is you want to take samples in a variety of different locations throughout the area, and you're going to go across in a kind of a zigzag pattern and take 4 to 5 samples in different areas. We'll be mixing them in our bucket, and then we'll mix all of those together to create one sample that will be sent off to the lab. This will give us a representative of all of the different soils that will be across her garden, so that she will be able to do one amendment to the entire garden. Now, if there were other areas that she was wanting to sample, say if she wanted to put in a grape vineyard in a different area, we would do a separate sample in that area because grapes would need different nutrients than what vegetables will. So if you have multiple areas you're wanting to test, you would do 2 different samples in those different areas. So whenever we sample, you're going to push down, and then this is a soil auger. So we'll get a nice tube of soil in here. For vegetable gardens, you want to take 6 inches of the top to sample. And you want to make sure that you don't get any vegetation. So if you were doing this in a yard, you wouldn't want to include the grass in your sample. So you would remove the top layer of vegetation and only put the soil in your bucket. Now we're going to take our 5 samples across the garden, mix them all inside this bucket. Here we have our bucket with our soil samples in there. So we're just going to mix all of those together, and then we will be putting those in one baggie. Now it's important whenever you're sending your soil sample off that you label your baggie, and then we will be filling out a form that has Miss Lashley's name on it also. But this way, if the form and the bag would get separated at the lab, they would know whose sample they have. So here we have, you usually send about 2 cups of soil to the lab and they will test this and then send us the results. Now if anyone is interested in doing a soil sample at their own house, we are part of a group. It's called the Promoting Urban Soil Health in Towns, and it covers most of southwest Indiana. So you can call your local soil and water conservation district and they will be able to send a representative from that group out to help you with your own soil sampling. Thank you. So this is our soil sampling form. We will be filling out the name of the person whose soil we are sampling, and then this will be the information for who is actually going to receive the information, and phone number of course, so that they can contact us if there's any questions. So in this case, our planned crop is going to be vegetables, and we are going to do routine 1, which is going to test for phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, calcium, soil pH, organic matter, cation exchange capacity, and percent base saturation of cation elements. And then since this is a routine test, we also get to choose 2 of the micronutrients. So those would be zinc, manganese, iron, copper, boron, and sulfur. So we will probably be testing for zinc and copper are the 2 that I would recommend.